Hi everyone, in today's video I want to try and explain how I put my pages together and explain a bit about the kind of things that I use. Many of you know that I tend to work tone on tone. I like to use similar colours. I like to pull lots of different patterns together because I think it adds interest, but if you're using sort of a similar group of colours, you avoid the situation of things getting too busy. For example, here I've raided my stash and this is a pile of papers. Some of these are from Happy Mail, some of them are my own, and these are a mixture of reds and oranges and a bit of green, but they work really cohesively together. We've got dendritic pattern going on here. We've got stencil through alcohol ink through a stencil, but it just works really well, and I could easily create a collage from this. And then in terms of focal images, I could use this owl. I could use a butterfly. There we go. I could use this embossed flower. I could use this envelope here for a completely different look. And again, I could add that butterfly. So lots of different options. I tend to pull my focal images from things like postcards, from wallpaper samples. I use lots of wallpaper samples. Let me just grab a couple of examples. This feather is from wallpaper. This butterfly is from wallpaper too, as is this bird. And I've just dropped one on the floor. I've got a couple of birds. Those are both from wallpaper samples. This is a flower that I've bought. I make lots of my own embellishments as well. You know, this flower is the pin that I've made. You know, that would make a really lovely focal image on something. This owl here is from a book. I raid charity shops for books and things that I can use. Another example of some leftovers that would easily make a journal page is this little collection here. So that's just some mop-up stencil on mixed media paper. This is a baby wipe with mop-up ink and paints, and then the little strips here are the edges from this stencil piece here. This is just alcohol ink through a stencil on, I can't remember whether that's Yupo or probably the reverse side of photo paper. And the edges that I cut off were just too pretty to throw away, and stacked like this. They could easily sort of make some kind of collage. And again, you know, I could use the owl, I could use this embossed flower. Right, other examples here. I've got these pretty pieces of pinky red paper left over. These are just sort of mop-ups from stenciling. And I could use this flower here as a focal image. If I whited this out with some white paint and drew a stem and then did maybe a watercolour background, that could make a really pretty page. I could even use that flower here. That's just some doodling. Then I've got this one here. This is a collection of greens and blues. So again, just a mixture of different types of painty papers, sort of torn into strips, just leftovers again from, I mean, these are pieces of drop paper. And then I could use this as a focal image. That's a feather that Betsy Doodle gave me in Happy Mail. And then I could tuck in a bird. I could fussy cut this bird. That's from a wallpaper sample. So lots and lots of ideas of things to use. But I just think if you're using sort of colours in the same colour family, then you're not going to make a mistake. Now today I'm working on a tag. This tag measures approximately 6 by 3.5, and it's just cut from a piece of food packaging. This is a cereal box, and I've just covered it with some book paper. It's children's book paper, and I've got the Artist Loft watercolour paints here, and I'm just going to add some paint in various places. Whoops, I wanted to add some water as well. In blues and greens, I'm working on blues and greens. The Artist Loft watercolours are £5 or even $5, I think they are in the States, and they are really good. So especially these metallic ones, the colours are just gorgeous. Lots of mica in them. I really like them. But you can use any types of watercolours. You could even use watered down acrylic paint for this. So as I say, I'm just adding a few colours in blues and greens. There we go. A bit more green. Let's add some lime green as well. I like a bit of lime. are. And then I'm going to splatter some isopropyl alcohol into this. In fact, I'm using surgical spirits, but you could use isopropyl alcohol as well. And it just moves the watercolour around. So I'm going to go off and give this a dry. Now today's video is part of a video hop called Everyday Art, and there's a few other artists taking part, all giving you tips and tricks as to sort of what inspires them, what they use and how they get going. And I've chosen a tag today just because I think sometimes when we're new to something, we don't have that many things to use, and also that sometimes I think we create pages that just don't have enough on them, so it doesn't look right just because things are a little bit lost. Right, I'm going to give this a try. I was just adding some modelling paste through my stencil. This is the acrylic mousse from Createbox, which is a Lidl brand. It comes in 4 different colours, and you could see that I had some left over, so I've just added it to a piece of painted paper so that I've got that for another project. And so now I'm just adding some splatters with an indigo. I've watered it down and I'm just adding it with a paintbrush. Black I think would be too harsh for this, so I'm using this indigo blue. And as I was saying, I just think that a tag is a nice size to work on. Don't think, what am I going to do with a tag? Just think of it as practice project and just something pretty that you can put on a gift. And enter as a swap, send in Happy Mail, whatever you want to do. I just think a tag is a nice thing to do. So I'm going to give this a dry, and then I'm going to do the same thing with some white. Right, okay, so that's had a dry, and I've added the leftover splatters to some other pieces of paper and then mopped up the excess paint. I'm doing exactly the same thing now with white, and then I shall go and give this a dry. And again, it's just adding more interest to this tag, to this background. Okay, so now I want to assemble my tag. I'm going to be using a feather that I found in my garden. I'm also going to be using one of these flowers here. You can use homemade flowers. I did a video a while ago where I made my own, which are equally as pretty, but the trouble is these are just a little bit too big for the size of this tag, so I'm using this one today. And then I'm going to use a butterfly here again. I made this in a previous video, and I'll leave the links to those below. Then I've got some sari ribbon that I'm going to use for my tag. Now these are quite thick, and a little tip for you: use a piece of bent over wire as a needle to thread them through. So I'm going to assemble this and glue it down. I've also got some words. Every day is an adventure, which I shall put on my page. These are from the Tim Holtz Chit Chat words. Here we are. Here's my finished tag, and I absolutely love how this has turned out. I inked around the edge of this flower here just to grunge it up a little bit, and it just looked too clean. And I've added a bit of white doodling using a white Posca paint pen, and I inked around the edge of the tag as well, which I did after I dried the watercolour. I just forgot to tell you, and I used 2 colours: Distress Oxide in Ice Spruce, which is sort of like a grey green, and then black as well. I quite often use 2 colours. I just like the way that it looks. And then of course I was working on these mop-up pages. This is the one that I added the modelling paste and then splatters of indigo and white, and this one just had the splatters on, and then I've got these as well. But just to give you an idea, I mean, this, if I inked around the edge of this butterfly, inked around the edge of this page, added a quote, then this could easily be an index card, and that is it, job done, finished page. Equally, I could do the same thing here as well. If I inked around the edges of both the butterfly and the page, and then splattered maybe with some orange just to tie this orange in here, added a quote, then again, that is a finished project. And then I've got these to start off for something else. So my advice is keep things small if you are a beginner. And remember as well that some of the projects that you see on YouTube that might be a 15-20 minute video have probably taken the artist maybe several hours to complete. They might sort of go away and come back. So a 15-minute video, mark my words, has not taken that artist 15 minutes to complete. Mine are the same. It might take me three or 4 hours of working on it and toing and froing. I work intuitively. I'll start a background and then I'll go away and I'll have a think about what I want to add. Some people need a plan, and you'll see them sit there from start start to finish. That just doesn't work for me. But also have a think about what groups you can take part in as well. Are there any art groups locally near you that you can take part in? What about online classes? I know that some are expensive and maybe out of some people's reach, but there are a few YouTube artists out there that do live videos that you can actually participate in. Patty Tolly Parish, Bob Owen, Pink Poodle Crafts, just to name a few. So check those out, and art as often as you can, and accept the fact that, you know, some days you're going to create a piece that is better than the one before. That's just the way it goes. You know, sometimes I create a piece and I think, yuck, that is just horrible. And you know, some days we're more creative than others, and just accept that and don't be put off by it. Other things, other tip here is I try to keep my space organised. I pull things out, and when I'm arting, I mean, if you could see my space now, it really is a mess, but I will go straight off now and tidy it up. And every couple of months or so, I have a major sort through as well. I just don't like having lots and lots of clutter around me. I've got lots of things, but you know, they're in their place. And the other thing that kills my creativity is feeling stressed and pressured. It just doesn't work. So just forget those days, and you know, just do it when you can chill and relax. Put some quiet music on in the background, you know, maybe a candle burning. So there we go. Anyway, don't forget, click on the top link in the description box below to take you on to the next person in the video hop. And I hope you enjoy the rest of it. And of course, if I've given you some useful tips and you like what I've done, then please give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and tap that bell button to get notifications of my up and coming videos, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I love to hear your comments, and take care everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.